You ever hear the doorbell on a Saturday morning, open the door, and you find a couple of Jehovah's Witnesses up in your face? Well, that just happened to me a few minutes ago while I was setting up to record this. I looked at them, I looked at me, I said, "Do you think I want to talk about the Bible?" Then I closed the door. Anyway, this week on MetalDisciple.com, we have new reviews for you from Incantation, Funeral, and Ashes You Leave. Incantation is an American death metal band that has been around for over 20 years. And this week they released their 9th album, Vanquish in Vengeance. In the early 90s, when Incantation started releasing albums, I had yet to become enamored of extreme metal. I was still holding the torch for thrash at that time. And so my early experience with the band was not exactly favorable. Some of the early death metal bands like Cannibal Corpse, Deicide, and Death, they were catching my attention, but bands like Incantation still left me unsatisfied. First impressions are sometimes hard to overcome, because based on that original distaste, I never really listened to Incantation again, even when I fell hard for extreme metal. I did catch them on tour with Cannibal Corpse back in 2002, but other than that, I really haven't paid them much attention. Cut to the end of 2012, and here I am receiving a promo for Vanquish in Vengeance. It was time to get back on that horse and see if I could ride it. My tastes have changed and evolved so much over the years that now Incantation sounds perfectly normal, in the context of death metal anyway. I suppose I would have to go back and listen to the early albums to see if I was missing out, but I am at least currently enjoying this latest release. The songs on Vanquish and Vengeance range from fairly fast to almost ploddingly slow. In either case, they sound very much like traditional death metal, which is okay, since that's what they are, right? The production quality goes a long way toward validating this album in my ears. The vocals are very deep and dangle over the precipice of becoming completely unintelligible growls. But thanks to the production and the placement of the vocals in the mix, I declared these songs more than listenable. I suppose this means I have to go back and check out their earlier albums. I love discovering a band that already has a huge catalog. It's like stumbling across a goldmine of new music. Funeral, a doom metal band from Norway, recently released their 6th full-length album, Oratorium. I have to admit that despite such a simple-sounding name, and a history dating back over 20 years, I had never heard of this band before this latest album. I saw Oratorium on iTunes last week, listened to some clips, and looked them up. Why hadn't I heard of them? I don't have an explanation for that oversight, but I did learn a little more about the band. 2 of the band's founding members have died, one from suicide and the other from an unspecified cause. The band has also been through a number of lineup changes, including several different vocalists. In fact, this latest album is the first with their new singer. So yeah, it doesn't sound like stability has been their strong point. Despite all the trials and tragedies, Funeral has managed to release what I consider to be an exceptional doom metal album. I went back and listened to a little bit of their earlier work, and while it was pretty good, Oratorium sounds like their most solid and polished effort to date. 7 songs clock in at 73 minutes, and while a little slow getting started, the album quickly grows on me. I can't help but think of My Dying Bride while listening to Oratorium. These slow, despair-riddled tracks come across like doom incarnate. This is the perfect companion piece to complement the inevitable holiday depression which creeps up this time of year. Next, we have even more doom. The Cure for Happiness is the 6th album from female-fronted Croatian gothic doom band Ashes You Leave. Can I just say I love that band name? I hear a lot of female-fronted symphonic metal bands, and occasionally I will hear women fronting a death doom band with harsh vocals, but I don't hear nearly enough straight-up doom metal bands fronted by women with clean vocals. I mean, okay, these songs are not nearly as depressing sounding as My Dying Bride or Funeral, but come on, this is still doom. I'm actually surprised there are not more female-fronted doom bands, because what sounds more sorrowful than doom music with beautiful and melancholy female vocals echoing hauntingly through the early morning graveyard mist? Come on. My Dying Bride was the first doom band I ever heard to have a violin player, Now whenever I hear doom with violin, I think of them. But Ashes You Leave has had violin since their inception in 1995, and I am very glad to hear they're still utilizing it. The lead female vocals are clean, but there are also harsh male vocals that surface from time to time, and they provide nice contrast. The Cure for Happiness is a nice break from the typical doom metal sound, and I recommend checking it out. That's all for this week. Be sure to check out MetalDisciple.com for the rest of this week's reviews. See you later.